everybody, and welcome back to a special bonus episode of First and Last.
Jonas.
Am Josh, and I'm with Joe.
Hey, ghouls.
And Ginny.
That got me. I got nothing to follow that. You bastard.
Jimmy doesn't know. Joe does know. It's Halloween. Or at least when this comes out, it'll be Halloween in 3 days. So
It'll be Halloween at Jace, all you goblins out there.
Are you going to do this all podcasts? Because you really held it together and didn't say you were going to do this at all.
Oh, man.
Well, we're going to do The Strain today.
Oh.
Which
nice.
is a horror TV show that I've heard about on FX. And it literally just ended in the middle of September. So it's only a month done. So this is probably our most recent show.
I can't even say that I've heard of it. I've literally scrolled past it while looking for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which got moved to FXX, which I didn't have.
I mean, that's
I think I've seen a photo ad or something. Is the poster some girl screaming or something, or I don't know.
It's not strain on her voice.
It's probably
the movie. It shows us
Some
about
vocal strain.
It shows us about singing. It's vocal strain. That's what it is.
A bunch of people eating cough drops and lozenges.
Just a lot of that noise of a cough drop on teeth.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the whole show.
that is a nightmare.
Yeah. So it's
That is spooky.
True spooktacular show.
Did we do the thing where we talk about what we're doing to the show?
What are we doing to it?
Yeah. What are we doing to it?
Or what?
Or
Or what it is?
How we're watching it
Yeah.
in such a cool and unique, clever way.
In spooky way.
Not to mention, so scary.
Well, for anybody that has never heard First and Last before and is just randomly listening to the bonus Saturday episode, we ghoulishly go into the very first episode of a TV show, and then we talk about it and make predictions on what we think frighteningly will happen in the last episode, which is the one we watch next.
Series finale.
So we only watch the first and the last episode of a TV show, and we judge it on only those merits.
And we also pick through our candy and only eat the Smarties.
But the
And
first
Sweet
Smartie
Tarts.
What do you mean
and the last
Can you explain
of
what you just
our
said?
Halloween
You didn't
candy.
get any candy?
I didn't bring.
Josh doesn't trick or treat. He doesn't believe in it. It's against his religion.
I'm pretty sure if I
He's a
went
Mormon.
solo trick or treated, I'd get arrested.
Oh, first door.
I would call the cops.
It doesn't help that my
Full on, man.
It doesn't
Asking
help
for
that
candy.
They're waiting for you
It
outside.
doesn't help that my Halloween costume for this year is
Right
Misty
now.
from Pokemon. So
Ooh, that's.
it's gonna be good.
I'm gonna be a porg.
Is that like a
those cool new
pug?
Star Wars guys?
Yeah, those little puffins on Star
Little
Wars.
Duck aliens.
I'm all in on porgs.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen the new
they're-
Star Wars?
The new Star Wars trailer.
Oh, is that the little
Last Jedi?
thing?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, they're great. I'm all in.
Alright.
Yeah. So cool. I feel like is there a beanie baby? A porgy beanie? I feel like Ty's gotta
There's-
be
yeah.
invested.
There's definitely a plush of some sort.
Yeah.
At least in the making.
A pretty spooky plush, I bet.
Oh, terrifying. Just like space. Star Wars is terrifying. Nothing about Star Wars.
So all I know, what do you guys know about this show?
Well, I can run through a mild amount of facts.
Okay.
I know nothing. So
Joe doesn't have
let's
anything
watch
anyway.
it.
No.
And here we go. Tell us what you know.
The Strain was on, it debuted in 2014, and it only ran for 4 seasons. And it was 46 episodes. So it's 10, 12 episodes each season. And I know it was created by the old horror dude Guillermo del Toro.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for this. Oh,
And he just had some writing
and Chuck Hogan.
involved too.
I don't know who Chuck Hogan is. Do you know Chuck
Shogun.
Hogan?
I do not.
Do you have your old Chokester?
Oh. I just gagged a little bit. I felt that in the back of my
the
throat.
chokester.
The chog. Oh, it just sounds way too much like chode.
GDT and the Chokester.
Oh my god.
Making the
No, but I
strain.
do know who Guillermo is.
I mean, like, Pan's
Big fan.
Labyrinth is,
Yeah,
like,
big
crazy.
Big screenplay writer.
Yeah. So
Intense.
I'm assuming this is probably going to have some. If anything, I think this show's probably going to have some pretty good like practical effects with the like gore, however it works. And kind of the only thing other thing I know about it is, and this might not be true. So this is what I think this show might be about. Is I think there's some sort of like disease, maybe a strain of a disease.
Okay.
And it kind of makes people that are infected like vampire-esque.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm done with what I might know about this show.
What I know, well, don't know, but I know from scrolling by is it's supposed to be some kind of vampire monster. I didn't know about the like how they get there. I'm excited to see that. The only other things I know is just from blowing past it is a couple of people who are in it that I recognized is Corey Stoll is the lead guy.
Who's that?
Who's he's the baddie in Ant-Man, which is great.
Okay.
Big bald guy.
Does
And
he have the power to get tiny in this show as well?
I'm pretty sure he's no. He's also in House of Cards, if you've seen that.
I've seen only a couple episodes of that show.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I won't spoil
The point
I won't
of
spoil
this-
his character for you.
I mean, I don't know if you notice, you, Jimmy, or listeners, the point of this whole podcast is the fact that most of us are bad at watching TV.
Bad at TV.
Um,
I hopped on that train when it blew up because that was like the first big like Netflix made a show
Yeah,
that I knew about at
yeah,
least.
it really was the first big Netflix show.
And
It
so I
got
hopped
It
on
got the
and-
space.
And I haven't watched it since. But Kevin Spacey, man. Also, David Bradley, who is Walder Frey, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. Also, he's somebody in Harry Potter. That's all I know. He's the old stringy-haired dude.
Yep.
I think he's the guy who guards the like three-headed dog guy if you've seen the first one. Also,
Just keep naming things I know nothing about.
Damn it. Listeners
Wait,
will
wait,
know
wait, wait.
Harry
Oh, yeah, they'll know,
Potter
they'll
and
know.
Game of Thrones.
Like, do you know what the name of the three-headed dog is?
Oh god.
Guillermo?
Del Toro.
Those are the three names.
Guillermo
Is the
del
name
Toro.
is the name of the three-headed dog? Because I don't know much about. Me and Joe are. We should just have an episode where we have people that know a lot about Harry Potter just ask
God.
only me and Joe Harry Potter questions.
Oh, I thought
I
you were
don't know
talking
anything
about
about Harry Potter
Game of
either,
Thrones. I thought Three-Headed Dog was Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's probably a three-headed... No, there's not.
There's no three-headed dog in Game of Thrones.
Unfortunately
What I was wondering is the three-headed dog in Harry Potter named just your typical Greek mythology three-headed dog name?
Probably.
And Joe, do you know what the three-headed dog in?
Cerebrus?
I mean, close. It's people. It's now I can't say it right because you said Cerebrus.
Cerebral.
Cerebus.
Cerebus?
Or like Cerebus.
Okay.
So it's not. Yeah. So you were.
It's
pretty,
the word
you
I
were-
was thinking of, but I just didn't pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So the answer is yes. He does know what the three-headed...
That was a really long time for me to just give Joe like a weird
I
quiz.
have no idea if that's what the dog's name is. I don't remember. I was past that age where like my sister picked up the books and I was like, that sounds stupid, and like everyone at her age was like super intensely.
We are like. I mean, you
We were
can. I mean,
just barely missed it.
well, I mean, I
I
probably
was
would say
reading
like
other stuff.
most of our other friends would argue against the fact that we missed
you're
it,
right.
but
Yeah, you're
I
right.
was a really big reader, and then when it came out, I just felt like I was slightly too old. But as an adult,
The
I
first
kind
book was written for pretty young.
yeah, I read the first
The
book.
biggest word was like the. in that whole first book. It's hard to get through as an adult.
But like as an older adult, like as an actual adult, and not like a 20-year-old that thinks I'm a real adult. No offense to you 20-year-old listeners.
Super mature.
Subscribe, download, and subscribe.
You're gonna live
The fact
forever.
that
It's gonna
you're
be great.
listening to this.
Oh my god, you are fucking invincible. It's insane how invincible you are.
It's a never-ending party. That's
You
what life
should
is.
learn how
Just
to
do it, man.
learn how to skateboard right now, because trust me, in 12 years you ain't gonna want to learn how to skateboard.
Okay, so I just know one more character.
Oh, okay.
And that is Jonathan Hyde. One of my favorite character actors. He's the like jungle safari man in Jumanji.
Oh.
Whom I love that character. He's basically in like every fantasy like mid to late 90s movie. He was in Anaconda, and he dies for sure. He's probably like the first one to die. He's like the nerdy boat guy.
In the movie,
he's in the Titanic.
In the movie Anaconda, I think someone dies because like a water wasp like crawls up his pee-pee.
Oh no!
Whoa! I don't remember that.
Rewatch Anaconda, boys and
No,
girls.
now I'm never watching Anaconda.
You've never seen Jonathan Hyde's also in The Mummy. He was just he was in everything.
Hey, you did a good job.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him
Cool.
in this show.
I think this show's gonna be good. I have high hopes.
Okay.
I just like Guillermo del Toro and
Yeah.
and the Jokester.
Chokomania running wild, brother.
What's the strain, brother?
A Hulkster. I feel like this show it could be really good. It could also, for me, be just The Walking Dead with vampires. Like what I imagine is just a bunch of characters and within like 2 or 3 different plot lines I was going on. And it's just The Walking Dead with vampires.
But then that means like the first and last episode should be pretty dope, right?
That's a very good point.
Because you'll just get all like the cool stuff
For
without like the
sure.
weird character stuff in between.
For sure, spooky.
Spooky, scary. Boys becoming men, men becoming wolves.
No, vampires.
Yeah, whatever.
They're natural enemies. It
I've
makes
seen
sense.
Underworld.
It makes sense.
I have those movies on DVD.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess with that, let's check out the first episode, and we'll be back after that. Speaking of podcasts, we're back.
Hey!
Yeah. I liked it.
I was intrigued the full way through. I mean, for the first part of it, I was just like, it felt a little dumb. Like, I don't know, just a lot of like the character decisions and the way they explain things. I was just like, this seems like a dumb show. But then it got good.
A lot of things that horror people need to do to make the horror happen, they need to act stupid, though.
Yeah, it needed to be dumb for a little bit.
Like, you need to be sad
Catch you off guard.
about it. I don't want to be weird about it, but I just went to the bathroom and I didn't put my belt back on. So I just did that. Dude, synopsis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a plane from Berlin to New York, we see in the beginning, there's some monster in the cargo bay, and we do actually see it jump out and like attack the 2 stewardesses, right?
Yeah. Pretty early.
We saw it. Yeah, we saw it. It jumped out. Yeah.
You see a portion.
Yeah. So this plane lands in New York, and everybody's dead. At least they can tell from the outside. The CDC gets involved. They find a giant dirt-filled coffin in the cargo bay and examine it. Don't really figure anything out. There's creepy guys they're in New York? The 2 like creepy guys with the blinking eyes.
Oh, so I wanted to point that out because the 2 creepy guys they have a corporation.
Right.
And it's called like Stoneheart.
Right.
And it's like, it's such a like a
It's pretty obvious.
pretty like just kind of ridiculous, like, we're monsters, Stoneheart Industries or whatever.
Right.
It was like
Some sort of ancient
I mean,
beings.
it could have been like Cold Blood Corporation. Like, it could have.
So, yeah,
it was so
right.
silly.
It seems like those 2 dudes are running this thing, and the last piece of their mission, at least for this first episode, is to get that dirt coffin across the river before sunrise. And they pay some gangsta dude to do it. He does it.
Gus was his name.
Gus.
I never heard that man's name.
Gusto.
It's probably Gustavo.
Along the way,
Yeah, probably.
along the way, we see
Saying-
like a few people die. There's like a CDC guy that gets like his blood sucked by the monster.
You mean
and
Jimmy's
there's-
favorite character of this episode?
Oh, I was so.
Oh no! I was talking, and then the morgue guy gets like his
Oh,
blood
yeah.
sucked by like the zombie dead people.
Morgue guy was my favorite for sure.
Um,
But the other guy, Bishop, who I was into,
mhm.
which I assume is his last name because he didn't really look like a.
Space android
Like an
from
X-Men.
the movie Alien.
He did, yeah, or that.
Or that, yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of get the beginning of the outbreak, and it seems like the coffin crossing the river, which was the last shot, is the propelling motion for the rest of the show.
Also, the Stoneheart guys, like
Yeah.
his like instructions to Gus were like, you gotta make sure that he had 3 like rules or whatever, but one of his rules was make sure you cross the river by sunrise,
Uh-huh.
and it was like, well, wait, what? Like, why is it so important that this thing needs to be in Manhattan?
I don't know.
I-
But it ties into
we
the
don't-
eclipse
we
that
don't
they
know
keep
yet.
talking about.
Oh yeah, and so there's
Yeah.
a big thing. I don't think it ever said what day it was, did it?
February 12th.
No. The eclipse. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. You're right about that. It said the eclipse was on February 12th, but I'm wondering
Okay.
if we knew what day it was in the show.
Oh no, I didn't catch it.
I didn't either.
It was wintry though.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, but it was like there wasn't snow on the
It
ground.
was just starting to snow at the end of that episode.
So I think it was like just becoming winter. So maybe this was like November, December.
Yeah, I can see that.
So the eclipse I think will play a part that we'll never know about.
Probably the season finale of that first season.
That could make sense. Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Mhm.
There was an eclipse in Heroes.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
The first
I
season.
do not remember that.
The first season of Heroes is really good.
It's good.
Yeah. So vampires.
I didn't hate the
What about the characters we meet?
There was a
Well, there's Ephraim.
Ephraim. I
Ephraim
feel like the main
Goodweather?
guy. F.
Yeah.
I feel like Ephraim Goodweather is a terrible name.
That's a horrible name. and F is a terrible nickname, and it's basically reminds me of E in Entourage.
E.
And speaking of
Only
E,
maybe worse.
Jimmy, who was in this show?
Sean Astin. I've been
Actual
waiting
Sean
for
Astin.
it. I had no idea who was in this. It made me so happy. I accidentally ruined it for myself when I was trying to see who Bishop was, and I was scrolling through the IMDb and saw it.
Is that when we were watching it, you like giggled?
I exclaimed. I was like, no way!
When we were watching the show, Jimmy's
Can you
just
imagine if I
Jimmy's
hadn't read that?
just starts giggling and he goes, "You guys will see." And I kind of forgot about it, but now it makes a lot of sense that it was definitely Sean Astin.
I've never been so happy.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's been in at least 3 shows we've watched.
But Sean Astin, then his character in this episode, he lets Gus,
He's a CDC guy.
he lets Gus, the guy who steals the coffin or whatever, he lets him go because he's like working for Stoneheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like he's one of them.
I
Not
have
really
a-
one of them. He's one of their lackeys that they
Blackmailed.
bought off.
Yeah.
Either working for them or being blackmailed by them. Either
Yeah.
way, he's being
I've-
compliant.
Yep.
I have a note that just says vampire lover question mark.
Oh, you
Sean
think that,
Astin is a vampire lover?
I could see, and I didn't write this down as like a prediction, but like that he said to Gus like, I've like done a lot for these guys already. He like knows
he's
these
like, I'm out.
goons too.
Yeah.
So like maybe he knows about the vampires to some degree.
Yeah. So the Ephraim Goodweather is he's getting a divorce. He has a kid.
All right.
He's also like into his like hot doctor coworker.
who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
I was pro that lady.
Seems like
Yeah,
she's
she
the main
seems
character.
great.
She
too.
seems really smart.
She seems great.
There's a old man who looks like he lived through the Holocaust
Ooh.
and is kind of a badass and
Yeah.
has a cane sword.
Walder
Cane's-
Frey.
That cane sword's dope, and that's Walder
Harry
Frey,
Potter
right?
guy / Walder Frey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he knows all about what's going on.
Yeah, Walder.
And he tries to tip off Sean Astin
Uh-huh.
about what's going on, which is weird because Sean Astin then brings him to F and Martinez, I think is her name.
Yeah, I believe that is her name.
And so if Sean Astin knew about the Coffin stuff, why did he bring Walder Frey guy?
Maybe he didn't know like everything that was happening. Maybe he just knows that when he sees that stupid card that Gus had, that he just has to like go, oh, you're fine, you know, like
Sure.
Yeah,
maybe
he might not be a conspirator. He just knows that he's supposed to do it.
Yeah, he's just always
I
like
like
maybe
that.
he's
I
just
like
like
that.
always on retainer, you know, like
Yeah.
hey, if some guy shows you this Monopoly card, you gotta let
he
him
doesn't
pass
know
go.
what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
okay.
that kind of thing.
So he didn't know what Walder Frey was up to.
Yeah, but the Waldo Frey, that's his name?
Walder.
Walder Frey.
Walter with a
yeah,
D.
no, Waldo
Walder.
Frey. It's hard to find him in the shot. You gotta search. You gotta pause.
He talks about he'd like seen this thing before and he's fought it before. He also keeps a zombie heart in a jar and feeds it his own blood. Like you do.
And it eats his blood with its weird, like, plant tentacles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's little phalanges. He's also kind of a badass. He like
Its fingers?
yeah.
He's dope, and I'm real sad he's not gonna be in the last episode.
Ooh.
Wait, oh. You're already hopping
Man,
there?
we ain't seeing Waldo Frey.
See, I initially wrote down old guy is gone, but then I crossed it out and switched it to Sean Astin is gone.
You mean you wrote down like
I want
the
Sean Astin
maybe
there
hard
forever.
guess, and then you crossed it out and wrote the obvious gimme.
I don't think it's obvious that the
You
old
went
guy's
for-
gonna survive. He's
you
like
went-
94 years
You
old.
went for the half court shot, and then all of a sudden you went, nah, I think I'll switch it for a
take a
layup.
I don't know. That dude's old. There's no given he's gonna survive, but I think he will survive.
I hope he does. I didn't write anything down about Walder Frey, but Waldo Frey, Harry Potter guy.
So they're like, they got weird tongues.
Yeah.
I want to talk about their tongues for a
Who's
minute.
they? The monsters?
Come on, just Ephraim. He's got a weird tongue.
Oh,
Weird
I did have
little
another
tongue.
note about speaking of tongues of Joe's lady screaming, which is just the Statue
It's
of
the
Liberty,
Statue of Liberty
with
screaming.
one of those weird
It's
tongues.
the thumbnail of the whole TV show on Hulu
Yeah.
is literally a woman screaming. It's the Statue of Liberty.
Which makes a lot more sense now.
It's a lady.
Do you think that this disease
Infects the
That's
Statue of Liberty?
infects the Statue of Liberty?
I don't know. There was
I
a
think
part
it's affecting New York.
when the two old guys were talking about like this city and what like this island or whatever, like it's gonna take over this island. For a second there, I was like, "Oh shit, are they like in the Statue of Liberty right now, like watching this?" But then I was like, "It doesn't make sense."
It's like Ghostbusters 2.
Holy shit, are you in the Statue of Liberty?
It's like X-Men 1.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
My only other notes were basically Corey Stoll, who's the Stahl, however you say it, who's the main, who's F. I think he looks way better bald.
I disagree.
I've never seen him with hair before.
I think it's great with hair.
I think it's. I mean, maybe it's just that.
Maybe
I've
you're
only
just
ever seen him
maybe
bald.
you're just into bald men.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I like why this. So what happens in the beginning is this plane, they lose communication with it and it lands, and it's completely silent from it, right? Except
Yeah.
for one window open. Why did they immediately jump
Knowledge.
to like call the CDC? Like, wouldn't you just think like, oh, it's like someone hijacked this plane and they're like keeping everyone hostage and quiet inside? Like,
Yeah,
why do they immediately know it's some sort of outbreak?
definitely. Yeah, and they made some like comment that the plane was cold, like it hadn't been on.
Yeah, like they're like
for
touching
a while.
the plane so much. Yeah,
Like this has happened before.
they're
I
like,
don't know.
oh, it's like a dead animal. It's like it's a plane. Like it's not alive.
That was
Well,
a weird, I
well, there
thought,
was the CDC. There was like the FBI. There was like other people there because he's like arguing. That was one like F is like basically he's mansplaining to the other guy why CDC should be in there.
Right. Yeah.
It was like Dr. Alan Grant telling the kid about raptors and their claws and
So
cutting them
you think
open.
You think maybe he's given this talk about how disease spreads? You think he's given this talk maybe like 10 different times for like other plans and situations, and it's like, nope, it's just a guy with a gun.
Yeah. He's
and only
practiced
this time.
He's
practiced
finally,
right.
It's finally right. Finally
He's
got.
practiced this in front of the mirror at home.
He finally
Like
did.
shows up to a bank robbery and he's like, listen.
F is a dick. That's what I pretty much learned from this. Although, because right away, even before that, you have the weird, like 5-minute scene with the therapist and his wife who's divorcing him, and you could tell he's a dick.
Yeah.
But she doesn't seem that great either. In all honesty,
I'm on his side.
I am-
There's no sympathy for the man works at the
Whichever.
CDC,
yeah,
and it's a really important job. Someone's gonna do this crazy important job.
saving lives.
And when they got married, she signed up to be with him forever.
I don't know.
And
Not
she
him with her.
And she went, I can't do this anymore. Your job's too much work.
And she's already dating some dude named like Matt who drives a Prius.
Oh yeah, they've been like they're not even divorced. They're separated.
Yeah.
And he is already dating a man who's like in his house with his kid. What's up with this lady?
I think all those people are dead.
Well, he's already like dating his like hot doctor.
And he's
coworker,
been
right?
dating his doctor, and that was
They have no proof of that.
they have no proof, but they
We
say
don't
that.
either.
No, we do know that.
Oh,
'cause
he's a terrible human.
in the scene we had to pause it because the tacos came, but in that they're talking about
The
how-
tacos, but not the chips.
Oh,
They don't care about our chip problems,
it's been a
Joe.
rough night.
Try better next time, Taco Cat.
Oh,
Sponsor
but if
us.
you want to, they're local. They don't have money. Anyway, they basically said that they had been seeing each other, but because like he didn't bring it up because she filed for divorce against him, so he was like, why bother? Say, oh, by the way, I've been cheating on you.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know, give it only as much as you need to give, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, he was fighting in that therapy session when clearly he does not care. I think it's the kid. They care about the kid. They care about Zach.
Zach.
Zeke.
I think it's Zach.
Zach.
Ezekiel
Elliott.
probably
Yes.
not.
For the Dallas.
Probably yeah. That kid doesn't run.
I mean, they named a kid F from Good Weather. They probably like
Zach.
just like
Zachary
football players
Goodweather.
Well, predictions.
Yeah, I got some predicts.
All right.
So yeah, I already said
Hit
that
the predicts.
Sean Astin is gone. I switched it from the old guy. I think the
Yeah.
old guy
Yeah.
persists to the end. I think by the end, because it was 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
At the end, the whole setting is just like an entire like the whole world has changed. It's a post-apocalyptic world where like only 1/10 of the world's population maybe still is alive.
Okay.
It's a whole thing. And then with that, there's a cult. There's a cult of the virus that worships the vampires and like tries to help them out.
Can you, for me, tell me the name of this cult? This
The,
isn't part of your thing. I just want to know what
The
you
name
think.
of the
I mean,
cult
you can't-
is the Awakened Folks.
Yeah, that's it.
If they announce a group as like the Awakened Ones, I'm gonna be so mad.
I'll be honest. If the word "awakened" is anywhere in the name of this cult that you've guessed exists, so there's a lot.
I like Awakened Folks because it's like
It's got a little charm to it.
it's like it's like we believe in the occult, you know, we believe in Hail Bop, but also we're just we're regular people.
but also just like come to our potluck
We're
and
next
whatever,
to yeah. Oh God, what a weird
we
church.
got our little hearts in jars. We're fine.
Is that
That's all I
yours?
got, yeah.
All right, I got 2. I only got 2.
Oh shit.
But I think they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do my
I
second
have
one that
so
I wrote first.
many.
My first one is the setting of the last episode actually takes place in like a bunker or something in Florida, where they're super well stocked, and it's like a village. Like they're a whole new society, essentially. A small society of survivors, but like in southern America.
So they've gone south.
They've gone
Yeah.
south.
So we're both on this is the whole like post-apocalyptic world thing.
Yeah. Their communities have set up, but this is like in Florida somewhere.
Okay.
So I know Manhattan's a big deal now, but
Okay.
like gotta move on, right?
Well, that's where the outbreak's gonna be. So like surviving out there.
Yeah.
Right. So you think this is like a full 4 years type of show? This is like real time? I mean, they have the time stamps throughout.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they like the first 2 seasons are within the first few months, and then there's like a time jump to 5 years later or something.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised if they played around in time.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering for, where your heads are at.
And I just want to fully point out that by the end of this episode, I don't think I'm going to have any points. So my other and final prediction is Ephraim is still in the show, but he is infected with the disease. But he can, like, control it, and he works still for the good boys.
Okay.
He's still a good old boy, but he's got the disease in him.
You can fight it.
Sure, I mean, yeah, he's just not a murdering monster like I assumed the zombie people were,
Yeah.
So I think he's got it,
Okay.
but I think he's a good old boy.
So he's like Hellboy. He's like a demon. I'm trying to make a Guillermo del Toro reference.
I see what you're doing.
But like he's like a good guy. Like you want him to succeed.
He's still the hero of the show.
Yeah.
Like he obviously was in this first episode.
We're here to watch him navigate this labyrinth.
Pan's
Guillermo,
Labyrinth.
follow us on Guillermo, follow us on Twitter. We love your work.
Jim.
Okay, cool. I want to say first of all, I'm totally on board with one of my predictions was full on post-apocalyptic, like Mad Max style.
Okay.
I think we're
all in on this post-apocalyptic.
We're all in.
What if they just like the beginning of the last episode is just like
They just
normal?
cure.
It's like Times Square. It's just all normal.
They've just cured the disease. Nobody knows that anything even happened.
I won't accept Jimmy's Mad Max style prediction unless there is some sort of like Frankenstein car involved.
Yes. I want a vehicle
Yeah.
that has.
That's the
that
way I
has-
know.
Is just strapped with barbed wire and just like steel bumpers
Yeah.
that running over people with horns on them.
Yeah, that's the way I know you're correct.
Okay, fine. I have a lot of predictions, you guys.
I love it. Yeah.
I literally have runner-ups.
Runner-up predictions.
First of all,
Like honorable mention predictions.
first
Like
of all, ones that didn't make it.
So these are not.
before
Like there aren't like slots for predictions. You can just make a prediction.
before I even get there, do you think is there a spooky Frasier episode? Are there Halloween episodes of Frasier?
For sure.
I bet there's one where like
I haven't
Daphne
gotten
thinks
one.
there's a ghost and like has to do a seance.
Oh, that makes sense because she's into the.
Oh,
Psychic
yeah, so I was gonna say there's a Halloween episode of Frasier where like Daphne wears a little something maybe, like and drives
Sexy Halloween
yeah, like
kitten.
she's a little sexy and drives Niles wild.
Oh.
Well, I mean it's every day, but like
Sure.
I bet that's a thing.
Okay.
Okay, runner up. First of all, so we have like little princess lady who's on the plane, who's kind of a focus of that first scene, and then Ephraim is talking to the press about the plane stuff, and he gets bitch slapped by Princess Chick's dad.
What's her name? Princess?
I have no idea. I'm just
Okay.
calling it like she's wearing
talking-
a weird
okay.
puffy dress.
You're talking about the child.
The child.
Okay.
The child in the plane who was like on her way home to see dad or whatever. And dad is at the thing wondering what the hell's happened to his daughter. He bitch slaps F. Just hilarious. And then the end scene, she comes in still alive some crazy how. I mean, obviously undead, I guess.
She's a zombie vampire.
Yeah. She walked
Are
all the
you
way to
undead
Queens.
then? If you're a
I mean, both the zombies and vampires are undead.
okay,
So.
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Her face was blue, so she wasn't alive.
Yeah, she was a weird color.
And he didn't seem to care at all. Dad did not seem to care.
I mean, it was dark. Maybe he didn't notice.
Yeah, I suppose. She looked dead, though. She was lifeless.
She's like holding a ball. It was really weird.
She kept saying she's cold. Anyway, runner-up is that I don't think she's gonna make it to the last episode. Also, there's a narrator in the show.
It's the old guy, right?
Poor
I thought it
man's
was the old
Anthony
guy.
Hopkins. I don't think so.
I think it's Waldo.
Didn't sound like it to me. I mean, maybe I'm just thinking because everything I've seen him in, I guess he has like a British kind of Cockney.
His Game of Thrones British accent.
Yeah, and Harry Potter too. So is he British?
Yeah,
I
they're
feel like
all-
he's got to be British. And that didn't sound. The narrator didn't sound British to me.
Every actor on TV in United States TV
that's
is
true.
British.
That's true. They have great accents.
Their American accent is better than ours.
Anyway, I don't think poor man's Anthony Hopkins sticks around. Real predictions. my other prediction was that I loved. It was about the morgue guy, but then he died, and he was great. Okay, prediction number 1. I think F is bald. By the last season. I think. Okay, number 2 is just about like his whole family unit that is like all breaking apart. I think Zach is Carl. I think like
Zach is Carl.
Zach is Carl from The Walking Dead.
He files for a name change.
I think so.
Call me Carl.
I think he.
No,
I
Dad,
think,
it's Carl.
I think he's following Dad along, and he's a badass. He might have a cowboy hat. I don't know.
Okay.
I think. But I think Martinez is dead. Stepdad guy, weird guy in the picture in this one is dead, and I think he's back with his original wife, Zach's mom. Whoever, I don't know if we ever even heard her name.
You think like his whole family's still alive?
I think his whole family's still alive and back together.
Living in potentially a village in Florida.
No.
All right.
No.
I'm trying to get us both points here.
I don't want to be dragged down with whatever. And then my last one is just that I think Gus is a vampire. I think he becomes a vampire. I don't think he's a vampire in this first episode that we saw.
Which one's Gus again?
He's the one who
drilled the car. He's the guy that took the thing away.
Hispanic.
Gustavo.
Some kind. Yes. Who's working for the vampires or whatever they are, driving the coffin away across the river at the end.
Working for Heartstone. Stoneheart.
Stoneheart Stone.
Cold blood.
He's working for Cold Stone
Creamery.
Holy fuck! We did it.
We cracked it.
Oh my god, there's ice cream corporation.
This whole thing.
That's why I
is
think,
just
and that girl's like, "Oh, I'm so cold. I'm so cold."
I'm so cold. Stone. I just watched the Rick and Morty. Anyway, that's my last.
This episode brought to you by Cold Stone Creamery.
Our new.
I've been to Cold Stone like twice. It was just fine.
It's fine. It's good.
It's fine.
Cold Stone. It's just fine.
It's just ice cream. Eat it.
They do it like they like have like spatulas and they like
It's quite a
silly
gimmick.
putty flip it,
Yeah.
and then they just like spank like ingredients into it.
Yep. And if you give them a
Like-
tip, they like sing, right? They have to
If you
sing
ring
a
the
song.
bell, they have to like suck your dick because they're so happy for a tip or something. Cold Stone is so ridiculous.
That's
now
why.
they'll never be a sponsor. That's
Why I've only been there twice. Buy my love, Cold Stone. Sponsor this podcast. Brought to you by the cocksuckers at Cold Stone Creamery.
We need to watch the next episode.
And we will be back after the final episode. Well, GDT and Chuggers made a show.
Chuggers now? It's Choger. Chogan?
Chogans.
And we just watched the final episode.
The Chogs.
The Chokester. Hey everybody, I made a show! Chokester!
Yeah, good job. You did it.
I mean, he did it.
Speaking of doing it, they did it. They killed the master
Yeah.
and ended the Choke-apocalypse.
That's what it was called in the show.
They brought it home.
It's a pretty like satisfying end. I feel like they were just brought into like the middle of the final battle. It seems like, and they have a plan to kill the master, who is the kind of the head,
Head
communication.
vampire?
Like he's able to like communicate to their hive mind of the other vampires, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's like because he's the master, they all are like they can like function smartly.
Right.
But then without him, they couldn't. And that's why.
Yeah, it just kills their internet without the master.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
So
just
yeah,
animals.
Our main heroes need to kill the master, and they need to do it.
Who is Jonathan Hyde, the Jumanji guy?
I didn't piece any of that together.
He's got a little bit of makeup on.
Yeah, a little bit.
He got a lot of makeup on his face.
So they have a plan to do it with a nuke, but it seems like initially they had planned to bring the nuke to the Empire State Building to nuke them there.
That seemed like the master's hideout.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered.
Mm-hmm.
And
But then
Duke
they're-
Nukem, the
But then their like vampire friend,
Quinlan is his name.
Quinlan.
Okay.
He's the Worf of the. He's the.
We've been going with the Piccolo.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. He's the bad guy turned good guy, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's like that. He's like the lost
The
soul of
master
the
called
vampire.
him like the lost
Born?
son or something. Yeah, he kept calling him the Born.
Yeah.
But at the very end, when they had their little
like
boss
Jason.
battle,
Like did the master watch The Born Identity? And be like,
He's
you're
like, yeah, that's like that guy.
you're like Jason Bourne. You don't remember that you're supposed to be a vampire and you're fighting us.
with your bone sword,
Don't
which
you-
was super cool.
Don't you notice you look really different than all these people? You're not one of them.
He like still thirsts for blood, right? You think they just like feed him some like pig's blood every now and then?
Not rats, apparently, because they're gone.
The rats.
Well,
left
doesn't
sitting
everybody?
there. Just sip a little
Thirst for
pig's blood.
From time to time.
This pod brought to you by Pig's Blood.
And Cold Stone.
Oh, that's weird.
So they readjust the plan because then if you nuke the Empire State Building with the Master in it, you would destroy the entire city. So they come up with a plan to lure the Master into the subway, several layers below the Earth.
Yeah, it's like some sort of
800
water,
feet.
some sort
800
of waterway. The Frenchman, who was apparently a New York cop.
Yeah.
This guy has a lot of depth. This character, he
I-
knows
layers.
about this waterway thing.
I
It's
think in that-
800 feet of.
I'm thinking that guy was pretty big into it. Kevin Durant.
Okay.
He was in Smoking Aces, and he's like and he was in a like Wolverine or
Oh.
some sort of Wolverine movie. I don't remember which one
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
He's essentially
Origins.
normally in whatever movies I've seen him in, he's like just this like big jacked kind of dummy. Is this kind of what he plays?
Was he
But
Sabretooth, maybe? I'm gonna look that up.
I don't
Keep
know.
talking.
I don't know. Maybe he was Sabretooth. He wasn't the guy that plays Cotton in Scream. Then
Okay.
Cotton Weary.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that was
Liev Schreiber.
that was the guy who was Sabretooth in some of the movies, but then
Yeah.
there was a different guy that was Sabretooth in some of the
Gotcha.
other ones.
Okay.
That might have been Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, this guy.
So I don't remember. But he was in this show, and I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I like him in this role necessarily because it's like a talking role. I think I like him as like he just like smiles and is jacked and like beats people up kind of role. I think that he does like a great job at that, like that silly role. I don't know.
So they plan to lure the Master down below into some sort of series of tunnels that's separated through cement and rock from the city so that they can detonate the nuke down there and preserve the city.
Yeah, because it was really important for them to save New York City at all costs.
Because they love it so damn
Because
much.
that is so important than just blowing up the city. and saving humanity.
Just for sure getting the job done.
Yeah, like yeah, let's
focus on just like killing the master.
I feel like maybe there was a lot of build-up of how New Yorkers feel about New York City that maybe we missed in the development of the show.
I mean, in New York City
seasons.
I mean, today for sure. I mean, it's a big deal. It's like the number one city, you know?
Yeah, sure.
But like,
I think Minneapolis is the number one city. I'm running for mayor next year.
I'd vote for you. I'll vote for you.
I'll write you in this year, bro.
Sweet.
I don't. Is there a mayoral vote every year?
No, that's what I'm saying. That I'll write him in this year.
Write in Craigslist Joe.
But so like I mean, let's be honest. If you're trying to save the entire world, you're blowing up New York City, and they've even made it quite clear that there's like no humans like really at all in the city.
Yeah,
hardly at all.
Blow it up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If it saves the whole world, blow up New York City.
You blow, and then like Charlotte is your new number one city, like whatever.
If New York City was like fully populated of people,
yeah,
but blowing it up saves the entire world. Mm-hmm. I think you blow up New York City.
It's hard to say by seeing this premiere and finale, like really how much of even the United States was affected by what's happening.
They said the whole world.
They did?
Yeah.
At some point?
And they said like millions around the world had like...
Yeah, because what they said was once they killed the master in Manhattan,
right.
they all went dumb around the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
But they had a flashback in this episode that went back 11 months. And then 11 months ago from the end of the show, like, there was still, like, cars and FBI.
Yeah, people were still living in New York City.
Yeah, there was just still people living around, and I feel like just this small group of people.
And Walder Frey was still alive.
Yeah. And just this small group of people still, like, were like, oh, there's fucking vampires or something.
Do you think maybe this whole series only ran for, like, a year and a half or something?
Like, this strain was only, like, a year long, essentially?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Like, I wonder if when they did that 11 months ago flashback, I wondered if that was, like, pretty close to the beginning. I don't know.
I mean, I think so. I would think so.
I just find...
Except
I guess
the kid. The kid seemed like he...
yeah.
The kid seemed so much older.
child Zach seemed like he aged 4 years.
He had a growth spurt.
A lot of hair. A lot of angsty, post-apocalyptic growing my hair out.
Yeah, I mean, even if we just go from what the kid's hair in the first episode looked like and the kid's hair in the last episode looked like, that's probably 2 years worth of hair growth.
Yeah, he's like hanging out with the master, and I'm not really sure how that happened.
Yeah, so one of the big things that is interesting is like, his kid is around and he's like palling it up with the master.
Goodweather's kid.
Goodweather's kid.
Goodweather.
Yeah, effing Goodweather.
And he's very Carl-like, but he's like bad. He's bad Carl.
He's bad Carl.
At the beginning of this episode.
He's never good Carl.
Well...
Oh, sure.
He's
a good kid for like 3 seconds.
Everyone. He saves the fucking day. So...
The bomb would have went off.
Just by itself?
He had to push the button, I think.
You can't... Yeah, he pushed the button.
Push the button on that bomb.
Fucking pulled the trigger, man. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So, Duke Nukem... There's a couple more characters introduced that we didn't see in the first one, and that was British lady, shitty Keira Knightley.
Okay.
Oh, that's what you deemed her?
That's how I deemed her.
Oh, interesting.
Because she had the same like accent that Keira Knightley does when she's trying to become British, and then the bearded French guy, who I wrote Jacques ? Because I never caught his name. I feel like they said it quickly a couple times.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who I looked up, and I just remembered that he was in X-Men Origins, but he was the Blob and had a lot of business going on.
Yeah, he was the Blob.
You can like YouTube him them putting his blob stuff on. If you want to do that later,
I do not want to do
his
that.
blob suit.
I do not want to see him paint on a blob suit.
Just exit the episode right now and just YouTube the Blob. Just don't come back for the end. It's more important.
From X-Men Origins, the worst superhero movie possibly to ever exist. So they're in. They go to the bunker. They do their little the Bourne guy, Quinlan. Worf shows up. Piccolo shows up, and does a quick boss battle with the Master. Pulls out his like trachea or whatever.
He never uses
that
this,
seemed important.
He never uses super cool, like, he's carrying around this, like, bone sword this whole time.
Yeah, and he doesn't touch it
Which
once.
I'm like,
He cut off Screaming Lady's head at the beginning.
who I thought was the Master.
Okay.
Not sure what... Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, there's
I'm
just
not sure what that was about. That seemed like maybe this is connected to a previously on.
No, well, he yelled at that... In that beginning point, like, the Master can, like, throw his consciousness into, like...
Oh.
Yeah. He's like...
That's why she sounded like a man.
Yeah, he sounded exactly she sounded exactly like the Master, because he was like, stop yelling, he's like, stop, like, talking to me through these people, like, meet me face to face.
Yeah, he's like, stop using proxies. And then so he aces that, like, girl vampire zombie, and I was like, oh, like, is that it? She seemed important. And then he, like, aces a guy at the top of the stairs, too, and I was like, oh, is that guy it? He seems super important.
Because he's thrown... Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
So, pulls out his trachea, because, like, 2 seconds earlier, the Master had used this, like, scream with his, like, gills on his... That seemed to affect everyone except Zach.
Maybe, Zach was standing behind him.
It's a very forward
It was like his scream was like someone going ooh.
It was,
but to everybody on screen,
the grape lady.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But to everybody on screen, they were like, no, my ears. And he was like,
I also don't like listening to Grape Lady. It makes me cringe.
Stop the podcast right now and go YouTube the Grape Fall.
Grape Lady Falls.
Just the Grape Fall, right?
Oh,
I mean, when I look it up, I look for Grape Lady Falls.
Grape Fall or Grape Lady Falls?
Look it up.
Tweet at us whether or not the Grape Lady Falls or Grape Fall made the video that you were looking for.
So also, I
should stop telling people to leave our video and look up other things.
Well, they can open new tabs, you know? It's not
Save our tab, you monsters.
You're not gonna just...
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Follow the Twitter tubes.
Take a moment right now. Like and subscribe to our Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
They're not listening anymore.
They've already turned it off.
But I mean, really, as far as like things that happened, is, you know, like, there was a family quarrel. Like, the kid was for some reason like hanging out with the Master. He had a change of heart. He helped his dad.
Yeah, you know how kids that age like to run.
Who, by the way, the Master, once he died, sort of, he like vomited into E's mouth.
F.
Yeah.
F's mouth.
E-F, G, whoever.
He vomited into fucking he vomited into MNOP's mouth. And then
alphabet soup.
And then he became the Master.
Became the Master, I guess.
Yeah.
But then the kid was like,
Taking a new
"I love
host.
you," and he was like, "Yes, I'm your dad now."
It was like the most literal baby birding in.
Yeah,
he
he
fed
li-
up those worms.
he baby birded himself into another human.
But right before that happened, Master killed the Bourne, possibly his son, vampire good guy, and just stomped his face off.
Yeah.
Which was something that the monster in the first episode, he stomped the head off of the good guy whose blood he drained.
CDC guy.
I just think there's
alien.
a vampire thing in the show that they love stomping heads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
those
read
heads.
the novels, so that these are all based on novels by Guillermo del Toro and Chogans.
And the Jokester!
Brother.
Hey! I wrote a novel, brother!
Oh shit! I want to know if these novels are full of head stomping.
Probably. I feel like it's like, you know how when you drink a White Claw, and then and then when it's empty, you like crush the can so you know it's done. Yeah.
So,
You guys don't do that?
did that peak then?
I do that every time.
I don't crush
I've
cans
never.
really.
Well, I like dent a can a little bit so that when I set it down, like,
So you know.
so I know it's empty.
You're not
Otherwise,
gonna
I'll like
pick
try
it
to
up.
sip it later. and
So
I'm just like, oh,
alcoholic
man.
Joe knows there's no more alcohol in that.
So whenever you suck a person's blood all the way out, you need to crush its head
Crush its head.
so that you know not
So
to
he's
go back
empty.
for sips.
Yeah, he's out of blood, man.
No more blood.
This is a weird
Well,
show.
when they did it in the first episode, like I legitimately thought what he was doing was sucking all the blood and then like crushing the head so that he could like suck up the remaining blood that got stuck in like other parts of the body.
Just the juices.
yeah, just suck up those.
He
like,
wanted
extra
all the
juices.
juices.
Yeah, sure.
But
check-
but he
checks out.
didn't. He just crushed the head and left. So he
It's-
ran backwards very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very
It's just
strange.
his MO. He's like serial killer MO. Like, oh man, he killed all these people, but I also crushed all of their heads. In real life, that's really fucked up, but in the show, like, that's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of fun.
Did we miss any other details from this? They set off the bomb, or yeah, the master spits the ramen worms into
into F's
into
mouth.
our main man F's mouth, and then F becomes the host for the master essentially, and then
for 2 seconds.
his kid like gives him a hug because it's his dad, and then sets off the nuke,
Yeah.
and that saves the world.
And that's really the end, except for then you get
jump ahead.
poor man's Keira Knightley and Kevin Durant.
The Blob.
Kevin,
Yeah, you get poor man's Keira Knightley and the Blob meet up, and they're like,
Life
life
has
is
like a French accent. I still don't understand that.
it's not important.
It's just how
French
people,
blob.
That's how people in New York talk.
And they're just like, yo, it's been 5 years since we killed the master. Life is good. And then they
We
high
can see the
five,
sun now.
and that's the end of the
Yeah.
show.
yeah, they're rebuilding the city. They get sunlight, which must have been a thing that like
Thing.
the vampires like had blotted out the sun. Or
They must have
something.
built like a Mr. Burns machine to block out the sun.
Just over New York.
Man. Excellent.
But
The only other thing I think I have is that we learned that they call the vampire guys the Strigoi. Which just Strigoi.
Which it's a better name than the Awakened ones. I think.
That's
the Awakened
folks.
I would have loved the cult of the awakened folks. Though.
The awakened Strigoi.
I was just hoping to see at least like one human in there who's just like a true like vampire believer, like he's
Sean
like
Astin.
yeah, like a vampire MAGA guy that's just like these vampires are gonna make everything great again. It's happening.
Make vampires great again.
Oh,
There was one blonde-haired vampire that was like, "Hey, I bigly believe we should make vampires great again."
These
Guys,
vampires are gonna set everything right.
these vampires aren't doing great.
They don't just want my blood.
Okay, so predictions.
Team close. Well, I'll do mine quick because they're all wrong. Well, I mean, first one was I believe they live in a bunker in Florida that's well stocked.
Hey, you had bunker, right?
No. There was a waterway that they were in.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get the gist that they were living.
Like
there
I
either.
refuse to
They
give
weren't
myself
living
any
there.
points for that
Okay.
one. There was nothing.
All right.
This whole show apparently is just in Manhattan, which is
Yeah.
fine. It just
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. It's
It's
fine.
a character.
It's fine. I'm fine with it. And then my other one was that Big E Goodweather is infected but can control it, and he got infected at the
Yeah.
end,
Didn't seem like he could control.
but
it.
I don't think he could control it.
Weren't in control.
So half a point. for being infected.
Joseph?
I had that
Craigslist Joseph?
Sean Astin is gone, which he was, but whatever.
Duh.
Yeah.
I more have meant it as like Sean Astin is gone and old guy's still there, but old guy really wasn't there either. So
Yeah, so
Yeah,
negative
flashback. He was in it
He's
for
in
a
a
couple
flashback.
minutes.
Yeah,
He was in the episode,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah.
And I said there's a post-apocalyptic world, which there was, but it wasn't quite as like post-apocalyptic as I thought it was going to be.
They were
Like,
watching the
still-
Bob Newhart show.
Yeah, just the fact that they had power made me go, okay.
How
well,
did
this
they
is-
have power? So that's why I think like that 11 months later thing was like it wasn't that much time.
Yeah, this
because
is
if
recent.
if it was years and years, like they just wouldn't have like that kind of power.
Yeah,
They had like cars. I mean, it'd be I guess if a lot of people had died, you know, like potentially then maybe like nobody's like taking a bunch of gas, you know,
yeah.
kind of thing. So
Right.
like maybe they could siphon the gas and the cars will still work. But like,
But also, if a bunch of people died, there's like not a whole lot of people working at the power plant, and like
Right.
not a whole lot of people like maintaining like
So this like
waste and
takeover
sewage.
of
I mean,
total takeover
this-
is very recent.
I mean, yeah, this just goes over the fact that if like everybody walked away from all of their jobs, I mean, dead or alive or whatever, if no
Yeah.
one maintained anything starting now, how long would the system last?
exactly.
And I don't have an answer for that. And Congress, if you're listening, tweet at us on FNL podcast. How long would the system last?
yeah.
Also, make sure that
In a
there's enough
zombie
robots.
apocalypse.
that
I
keep
bet there's
everything
somebody
going.
that knows that though.
Make
Like, there's
sure.
probably some sort of like very smart
It's
person,
an algorithm.
some scientific man.
Who's like
Or
written
woman.
an article on it.
Someone
on
knows.
paper.
I'm interested. I want to know how long the system would last. It's probably a Google I'm going to do tomorrow.
if people just vanished.
No, just I mean, vanished or not vanished. It's just whether and if no one manned this system anymore.
Yeah, and no one took initiative to like fix it.
Yeah. If it just let it run out, how long does it last for? I feel like this is like there's been so many apocalyptic shows.
Someone's looked into
Someone's
this.
looked into this, right? There's got to be at least an estimate.
Yeah, I wonder what the first failure would be.
I bet Elon Musk knows. Guy's a fucking genius. He's like, the sun never runs out. I ain't never running out of power. Fuck you guys.
So my
Oh, Jimmy, how many different ones do you have?
so I said full on, and Mad Max. While they did use the van to run over lots of zombies,
It was just a regular van.
it was just a regular van. So that's
Yeah.
a no. That's a no.
There was no skulls, feathers, paint, or barbed wire.
They even like
on that.
almost got stuck in that van, like running
Yeah.
over some zombies.
Yeah, they could have taken some initiative on that van and really. Okay, my next one. F is bald.
Yeah, he's super bald. Like his
Right away.
Super bald.
It's
I'm
his
gonna
natural state.
I'm gonna put a star like I'm a child.
Jimmy doesn't get points for this episode. He only gets gold stars.
I did that to myself. The whole family unit thing, it really fell apart for me. I mean, they hugged and died together at the end,
Well, the boy,
but the mom is who knows.
the mom is gone.
The mom's
Super gone.
long dead, I'm sure. Gus is a vampire, not at all.
Gus is there though, which
He's a
I'm
good
impressed
guy.
with.
Yeah, he made it. He
The
lived.
man that drove the sarcophagus thing to start this whole fucking thing was apparently a good guy.
Is
in
there
there.
to help
became a
edit it
good guy.
I wonder
and-
if they knew. I mean, you assume they know, right?
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, hey, it's okay. Just be a good guy now."
He was just trying to pay the bills, man. He was just doing
Yeah,
what
they
you gotta
would
do on
have.
the street.
They
Take care
would
of
have. They
mom.
would have got someone else to get that coffin across.
Yeah.
They got dudes. Sean Astin would have done it
Sean
himself.
Astin would have done it.
Yeah.
He would have Rudied his fucking ass across that river.
I can't just understate how excited I am that Sean Astin was in this show. After Entourage and after The Wire.
You've been
I don't
gunning.
know. What
you've
about
been
The
gunning.
Wire?
He's just been gunning.
One of the
for
cops in The Wire totally looked like Sean
He
Astin.
didn't, no, he didn't though.
He looked as much as E did.
No, I mean, he looked a little bit more like, but still, you can definitely tell he wasn't Sean Astin. Here's the deal: you're just
Well.
weirdly gunning for Sean Astin for some
Yeah, it's
reason.
great.
You got a thing for a
Yeah,
Hobbit.
did you
doesn't
suggest this
love-
show? I think you knew the whole time.
I suggested like 3 different shows.
Yeah,
but,
actually,
but this was great.
actually, this week we were like, let's do a special Halloween one, and Jimmy's like, do you want to do all 3 of these shows? And we just said those are good shows, and then I said, how about we just do The Strain?
shows that didn't make the cut. So
Well, no, but it's not. I mean, you know. It's
well
not-
this time we had
Oh.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
My favorite one was the From Dusk Till Dawn, the movie, the series, not the movie,
The series.
the
movie.
series,
The movie
which is, what's his name? Rodriguez.
I was like, I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know what you're trying to come up with. Okay, yeah.
and
Ben Affleck.
that he made for his own TV network that he made called El Rey that like nobody has.
Oh shit!
He made his own network and then made a bunch of his.
Are
own
you, Joe? Are you
shows.
surprised that that's a thing? Or are you surprised? What was that?
Oh, Lucha Underground is on El Rey.
Could you tell me what
There you
Lucha
go.
Underground is?
It's like it's a wrestling show,
Lucha.
but it's much more produced, where it's like shot cinematically.
So it's like way even more faker looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Than,
Like
like,
all like the
WWE?
backstage promos are like shot cinematically with like 2 cameras and stuff, but then all the wrestling is shot in front of like a studio audience or whatever, and
Sure.
yeah, so like that's shot as if it's live, but the rest of it is like
I want to see that.
Are they all luchadors?
not all of them, but yeah, it's like based in Mexico, and like I haven't seen it, but like it's apparently like there's like magic involved and like
Yeah.
Yeah. So
shit, we
that's-
can first and last Lucha Underground.
Hell yeah.
We could just have we just have bonus episodes where like we watch an episode of Lucha and just talk about it. FNL Lucha Edition. It sounds silly.
It is. What were we talking about just before that?
Jimmy was talking about stuff and
The other spooky
I was
shows.
saying.
Isn't
yeah,
there like a Scream show on like MTV?
Scream is a show.
Scream? Oh, really? Like
yeah, but it's
based on.
yeah, but it's still going.
Gotcha.
The other ones I suggested were just any of the seasons of American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Because you could do anything.
Right, I
else.
mean,
They're all
it's a
different.
season's a whole encapsulate because of the anthology. Yeah,
And then the Bates Motel series that
I am interested in Bates
ended
Motel.
recently.
It seems like it could be fun.
Ugh,
If
that's gonna be
Scream
creepy.
ever ends, that could be interesting because then you could like try to guess like who the killers are.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I feel I feel like Bates Motel there's I mean if you've ever seen Psycho, like
Yeah.
the
that,
twist
like that
is
show.
that the mom is dead.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she's alive in this because it's a prequel kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know
Oh,
that
so
any
does it
murders
have to
happen.
do? I mean, I knew it was a Psycho thing, but I didn't
Yeah.
know whether or not it was like supposed to
It's
be
like that
actually part of
guy.
the Psycho universe.
That
in a
guy
way.
who like owns the motel in Psycho is a kid, and his mom, who's like supposedly like the owner in the movie, who you find out is dead at the end. Spoiler.
I'm not 100% sure I've actually ever seen Psycho.
Oh.
She's alive in this, and it's all about their twisted
I don't need
relationship.
to see it anymore, I guess.
I assume.
But okay, yeah, no, what about,
Oh, you
it's
gotta see Psycho.
it's a good
Alfred Hitchcock had a TV show, but I don't think there's any continuity at all to do a first
it's
and
like
last.
It's like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been great too.
Tales from the Crypt's a great show.
You think there are any shows like that will be revived, like how shows are being like revived now, like
Oh, like I wouldn't be surprised if
Twin
they did it with
Peaks
Tales from
and-
the Crypt. Like, why not?
or like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh shit, I would be all in
Oh
on that.
man, Goosebumps.
I mean,
Like
you
X
should have went
Files had a
Goosebumps. You
reboot.
should have went Goosebumps. Then Are You Afraid of the Dark? 'Cause Are You Afraid of the Dark is fucking amazing. And
I was
honestly,
thinking about scary shows
the
from my
X Files
childhood.
is one of the best shows ever made.
But did you see the reboot season?
I did, and I was fine with it. I mean, it's old. Like, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
they did a good job. It wasn't like amazing, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
But
It's old.
I don't know what I said there. It's like
I wasn't
I meant
listening.
like the X-Files is old, and then like
And then they did something new
They
with
did
it.
like a new thing, so it
like Fuller House.
so it didn't really kind of like it didn't work within like how the X-Files.
It's hard
worked.
to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because the regular X-Files is
Yeah.
encapsulated fully into one series,
Gotcha.
and then like they have the new one which tacks on, but it's like if we were to do something like that kind of thing, it's like if we did like Full House for instance, we wouldn't tack on Fuller House to the end of it because
Right.
it's not
Right.
part
That's
of
a
this.
whole
It's not really
separate-
part of it. And so like even though this new X-Files series, like this new season, they're doing a second season of this one, or technically the 11th season of the X-Files. I mean, really, the X-Files is seasons 1 through 9, and then it's seasons 10 and 11. Like
Okay.
that's how it kind of works.
Yeah.
But I will say, for a fact, come at me, internet. Episode 1 of the X-Files, like the pilot episode of the X-Files, is the best episode of TV ever. It's so good.
I think
It's the best pilot. It's the best pilot of a TV show ever. Maybe not obviously the best. Like it's such a good pilot.
I hear you because I think it does perfectly what a pilot's supposed to do. It just totally wraps you in. Like it leaves you hanging.
Have you
like
seen
it,
it?
No, well, like, have you seen like the first episode of Entourage?
Yes.
Like,
Yes, I have. God.
Oh man.
so
And you're
the
right.
Strain? The Strain.
It's close second.
Have you seen The Strain though?
Yeah.
Are we watching more of The Strain?
Yeah. What are our thoughts, Jimmy?
You know, I wanna say that I'll come back to this at some point. I almost more wanna read these books because the books are always better, you know?
Okay.
You elitist.
I quit the show. I'm strictly a book guy now.
Jimmy's starting a blog and he's vegan now.
I think that was a satisfying first and last, and I think that's a decent way to watch The Strain. I think I'm done for
So
now.
you're happy though with what you saw.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. I mean the pilot was great, and then the ending, like even just jumping in at the end was pretty like satisfying, I thought.
It was just satisfying, and I think Joe, you'll definitely. I think you're already like kind of saying the same thing, but like, it was satisfying going into the final episode, knowing that at least the penultimate, like the second to last one, was like, this is the thing that we have to do, and then the last episode was like, we're doing this thing,
Yep.
and then we're gonna finish it, and any like of the relationships that they had to like get over, they like resolved.
They
There was
tied
like
it all up.
there was two relationships, dad and son, and
Keira Knightley.
and Keira Knightley and the Blob.
Yeah.
Like those things had to wrap up, and they did those. They essentially wrapped those up,
Tied it in a neat little bow.
and they ended it, and then they concluded it.
Yeah.
So it was a good ending,
Mhm.
I think. I mean, as far whatever. I'm curious. I'm a little bit curious about like how long has the Master been around? I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I know
Since
all about
episode
the
1.
I
It's
know all about the
Jumanji.
Master.
Wait, Buffy's in.
Buffy killed the Master in Buffy.
Oh yeah, let's watch that.
I love Buffy. One of you better not
that
have watched
coming?
Buffy because we were gonna watch.
I haven't. I for sure haven't seen the finale.
Ugh, Buffy's so good. But Joe's just shaking his head.
Yeah,
No
I've
words.
never seen the movie. We've never seen the show.
There was
Oh.
a movie.
Yeah, that came first, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think Buffy the movie technically has anything. It has nothing to do with Buffy the show.
Okay.
And it's
But
not
it's
Sarah
sti-
Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, it's not, but it's still like
What? I don't want anything to do with it then.
it's still the same premise of like popular teenage
Vampire
girl
Slayer.
like becomes Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
So it's still good. So I'm interested in this. There's a potential that like come like times when I want to like maybe dive into something potentially spooky. or just like a paranormal show at all, I potentially would be like, oh yeah, I remember this strain. Let's watch like episode 2 quick and just kind of go from the first, and I would maybe check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really interested currently. I have 6 seasons of Frasier to watch. So.
Yeah, you gotta plow through that phrase.
No, but so I don't think I'd hop on it now. But like if the mood touched me, like the mood for like vampire hit me, I'd probably dive into it.
Okay.
I'd want to see that head
You're
smash.
a big vampire guy.
I like vampires.
Big bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
Buffy.
Yeah.
True Blood.
True Blood. Are you a big True Blood guy?
I've never seen True Blood.
Let's get on the list.
I feel positive about it though.
I'm sure you do.
It's vampires, right?
It's vampires with Rogue from X-Men.
Oh, really?
I don't know what her name is, but yeah, she's the main chick. I watched like the first season with a roommate who just made me watch it.
Was it sexy? It seems like it's sexy.
It was pretty. I remember it being sexy. I can't remember like details, but I remember thinking this is sexy. It's Showtime.
This is a sexy show.
It's Showtime.
Showtime's sexy.
This is vaguely sexy. No
Showtime.
details.
Sponsored.
Right.
That was my thoughts.
Yeah.
because I'm looking at my phone at the cast of Buffy the movie.
Well, that's fair. Well, on that, I suppose we're done. Joe, you want to send us off?
Yeah, you guys want to go get some ice cream or like?
I mostly meant saying
Probably
like things
Cold
like
Stone.
Oh, like
Twitter or whatever.
Hey ghouls, we'll see you out there. Sleep tight. Wah, No, not that.
No, that was it. I think you captured it pretty much for the Halloween season.
So if you want to get a hold of us, Joe doesn't understand at all what I'm trying to get him to do. You can tweet at us at FNL Podcast or send us an email at fnlpodcast@gmail.com. If you guys have any comments, concerns, hate speech, or suggestions for TV shows that we should do.
You can also go into your bathroom mirror and whisper first and last 3 times, and we'll just show up. Just pop out of your mirror.
Joe will be in your bedroom waiting.
Just waiting. But if you take too long, I might just fall asleep. So
He's a cuddler.
This is true.
He likes to be the little spoon. Which is...
And with that, we're done. Thank you, Guillermo del Toro and the Chugster for creating this show.
Shogun.
Yeah, see you next time.
Choger, good job.